yeah. Yes. Yes. 24 hours from now, the NFL draft kicks off. I'm excited. If you're watching this, you should be excited. I am exceptionally jacked up today. I actually have a giant thing of water. There's it's water. There's not alcohol in it. It's not a bong. It's just water. I also have a full cup of coffee, even though I don't need it. I'm too jacked up. Oh man. I am very, very excited for the NFL draft. For those of you who don't know, I live in the Kansas City area, diehard Chiefs fan. I have seen over 20 mock drafts where the Chiefs trade up for Aiden Hutchinson. Over 20. And I think 19 of them, except I think one was like an April Fool's Day. Almost all of them were dead serious. I mean, they were like all, it was like, yeah, we trade up this, and this for Detroit or Jacksonville. And I'm really more excited to have these idiotic mock drafts come to an end. I'm really excited for it. Man, Funk, I'm very glad you're here, man. I am very glad you're here. I'm very curious on your take of what I got Detroit doing at 2 and 32. There are some changes from my videos. I'm going to break this down into 8 sections. So I'm going to break this down into 8 sections. Basically 1 through 4 is going to be one section, and 5 through 8, etc. I'm going to ask if you have if you want to make a comment, kind of keep it on point with the section. I'm going to read them all off and kind of go from there. So you and the Lions, you know what? I would love to go back on Luke G's show again. I haven't asked. I don't know if I should ask, but I'm going to see if I can work something out with Luke G. Because if nothing else, I'm going to see if I can get him back on here, talk about all the moves the Lions have made. But I would love to go back on the Luke G show. I owe him a lot, and nothing but love for the Luke G show. So hopefully I can have some either Luke G or maybe another Lions fan, but I would love to come on. I think it'd be great if I could offer Luke G an opinion of somebody who's not a Lions fan about the Detroit Lions. So I'll have to put a bug in his ear. Denver Gator. I'm gonna message you right after the show, personal matter, but you'll get it. I am not going live Friday. I'm not going live next Friday, so you guys won't see me again until the 13th. We are going to hopefully by then we'll have some NFL news plus a lot of draft content to go over. Hopefully you guys will not be burnt out of the draft in a couple weeks from now. Plus I'll have a lot of over-unders to talk about. But I'll start the videos after the 4th of July. Man, this draft is going to be silly after looking at the Lions roster. They could literally take anything from quarterback to outside linebacker to safety to wide receiver. Anything but O-line at 2 would make sense. I'm going to go over that. I'm actually going to go over that. Jimmy, getting excited for tomorrow. Ended up taking – Jimmy, let me know what action you took. Spoiler alert, you're over on 4.5 corners going in the first round. I predict we'll hit. So spoiler alert. All right. Before I get started, if you haven't heard, I'm gonna go over this real fast before I start sharing my screen here. Cam Robinson signed a 3-year deal with Jacksonville Jaguars. I did not see this coming. Now, what I think it is I think it's a ploy because I think they want to move down. The only team I could see moving up would be the New York Giants. They announced Kadarius Toney is on the trade block. I could see maybe 5 Kadarius Toney and maybe another pick or 2. That would be the only team I could see trading up to 1. That's it, and I don't think it's going to happen. No trades in my mock draft, but I am fully aware that Cam Robinson is going he did sign a 3-year deal, just to let you know. Jimmy says, I'll let you know how I do against your mind. Yeah, let me know, man. Let me know, definitely. Garrett Wilson would give Goff everything he needs if everyone's healthy from inside out. Swift, Hawkinson, St. Brown, Wilson, and Chark. I like it with health. I'm really high on Garrett Wilson. Very high on Garrett Wilson. And Jimmy, that I got that bet hitting. I got that bet hitting. Spoiler alert. I'm going to share my screen. And yes, I'm fully aware Cam Robinson did sign. And so here's the drill. Slasher, what's up, man? Yo, this time tomorrow, the draft will be going on. The Lions will be probably on the board right now. Yes. Man, I appreciate it, Funk. I appreciate it. All right, let me get my banner off the screen. I didn't realize that would. Okay, here we go. I still got Jacksonville taking Evan Neal. All right, bear with me. Why I got Jacksonville taking Evan Neal? He played guard, he played right tackle, he played left tackle. If I was doing a big board, I would probably have Ike Ekwonu as my number one pick, or as my number one player. Every time I see some film on him, the feet for that size, it's just ridiculous. I think Trayvon Walker could be the pick. However, and Trayvon Walker opposite Josh Allen would be amazing. Look at the coach. All right, Doug Peterson, right? When he was with Kansas City in 2013, when they re-signed Brandon Albert, and they still took Eric Fisher. Now the difference is Albert had a 1-year deal, left in 2014. Here's the drill. He could play guard. He could play tackle. He has played those positions. He's also moved around. It's not an issue. You have a superstar young quarterback. You need help. Yes, they could go Trayvon Walker, him and Josh Allen, lots of fun. However, this is safe. Whether he's guard or he's at tackle, you protect your superstar quarterback. You got two really good running backs. Remember, Travis Etienne comes back. I know this is a minority opinion, but if I'm Jacksonville, I protect my superstar quarterback. All right. No. Well, yeah, there'll be like some pregame stuff, but yeah, it's. I'm excited. I'm gonna be turned on. Yeah, Jackson's going to eat up clock. Jacksonville's going to auction this off. I don't think they get any takers. Several teams, like I have Detroit here, really could be an option to trade down. I think it's either Evan Neal, Ike Ekwonu, or Trayvon Walker. And I've been hearing a lot about Trayvon Walker, but if I'm Jacksonville, just don't overthink this. Look, at Alabama, it's basically an NFL environment. All right. Now, I'm not saying every player from Alabama is a star on the next level. Matter of fact, take Alex Leatherwood. He was Alabama's starting left tackle 2 years ago. He went to the Raiders starting right tackle, and it didn't work out. So they moved him inside, struggles. Now he's slated to be a starting right tackle next year. Bottom line, it didn't work. But if you go to Alabama, you're treated like a professional athlete. You're ready to go. He's going to walk into Jacksonville, and it's not going to be overwhelming. It's not going to be like anything different. It's going to be like playing Tennessee or playing Georgia. You're going against NFL competition. You got Trevor Lawrence. Protect your guy. Jimmy says, interesting. I thought about taking Evan Neal's first offensive drafted player for $350. I think it's a heads up. I'll be honest with you. The more I see Ike Ekwonu, I'm almost thinking he might be better. But man, that size, the Alabama pedigree, that's a solid bet in my opinion. Very solid bet in my opinion. Slasher, man, I'm glad you're here, brother. One funky Lions fan. What is the situation like over there in Jacksonville? If you know, Trent Baalke really neutered Shaw. I don't know why I'm drinking coffee. I am so jacked up, man. Funk, did hell freeze over? We've been agreeing on a lot of stuff, man. I like Neal to Jacksonville, maybe even Cross. too. He seems perfect. Yeah. Cross is another guy. I'm going to talk about him later on because I don't have him going in the top 4. But left tackles who could play day one, I think Cross would be my number 1 guy. In this situation, he could play guard or right tackle. And I think eventually, even though he signed a 3-year deal, I see in 2 years him moving over to the left. And I could see Jacksonville giving up Cam Robinson for some draft capital. That's what I see happening. All right. Number 2, Aiden Hutchinson. For me, this is a no-brainer. This is a safe pick if you're Detroit, and this is what you need. Improves the front 7, improves the run, improves the pass, improves the run defense, improves the pass defense. It's funny because I cannot find a Lions fan that doesn't love Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is famous for that knee biter speech he gave when he took over. This is the definition of a knee biter. If you had to say, give me a player who's a Dan Campbell type of player, it's Aiden Hutchinson. It's a no-brainer in my book. I think it's about 50-50 chance Detroit's going to trade down. All right. I think Atlanta at 8 is a prime candidate. Atlanta has some extra draft picks. And I really know that there's been a lot of talk about Malik Willis going number 2. I think that it's a coin flip. If Jacksonville stays at 1, I think that Detroit will take a lot of phone calls. Expect the full clock. Detroit, if they do make a pick, there's going to be about 15 seconds left on the clock. If they do pick, I think Aiden Hutchinson has to be the guy. I really do. Funk, I just hate the Lions position. Yeah, I think it's 50-50. It's 50-50 if they're going to trade back or not. That's the way I see it. I'm going to give you a few. I already named Atlanta. I think Carolina's the other candidate. The problem is with Carolina's, you have to give up either next year number 1 or players. I don't know if they want to do that. Number 3, Kayvon Thibodeau. I've been hearing that they are head over heels in love with Derek Stingley. You got to go edge rusher if you're Houston, in my opinion. If you're not familiar with Tampa 2 defense, it's based on one simple principle. Your front 4 has to be the front 5 of the offensive line. It's very simple. That's just ABC, very simple. Bottom line, your front 4 beats an offensive line front 5, and you win. That's it. What Kayvon Thibodeau does good, he does better than anybody in this draft. I love Kayvon Thibodeau in this scheme. It's very simple by NFL standards. They won't ask him to do a lot. They're going to ask him to get his ass after the quarterback. That's it. Defensive back I've been seeing. I've been seeing that a lot of left tackles going to Houston. I don't see that at all. We are 100% getting into the top 10. Eagles on a wide receiver, preferably Jamison Williams. We are taking calls on Dillard and Rager currently. No trades, but I'm going to talk about Philly at 15. I don't have any trades in my mock, but I do think they are definitely a trade-up candidate. If I'm Houston, I'm hoping Stingley falls to 13, but it's highly unlikely. We're going to find out, man. We're going to find out. Next, the Jets. Now, this is kind of strange because I'm going off of the Dan Big Board, even though I don't officially have the big board here. But if I did, Ike Ekwonu might be my number 1 pick. Bottom line, if you're the Jets, you may want to move on from Mekhi Becton. George Fant's also a trade partner. Mekhi Becton's banged up, so you really can't trade him. George Fant would definitely be a trade candidate. Now, I know this would be the 3rd consecutive year using a first-round pick on an offensive lineman. This guy can play guard. If I draft him, I slide him in the left tackle. I move Fant over to the right side and have him compete with Mekhi Becton. If Mekhi Becton doesn't win the job, I would just simply don't be afraid to either cut him or move him. You could go defensive back. Sauce Gardner definitely is in play. Everybody's been talking about Trayvon Walker going number 1, so why not take Trayvon Walker here? Deebo Samuel has been mentioned to the Jets many times. Trade down is a possibility. I think it's much more likely at 10 than 4. Real talk, I'm not even sure Thibodeau makes it past Detroit at 2. I'm not sure either, man. I'll be honest with you. Thibodeau has more upside than Hutchinson, but if I'm Dan Campbell, Hutchinson's just a Dan Campbell guy. I just see what it is. I'm interested in what John Dorsey does. Absolutely. Here's the key. You got to hit – the first round is for fun, James. The first round is for fun. If you want a winning team – sounds like police are after me. If you want a winning team, you got to hit between rounds 3 and 5. 3, 4, and 5 are the key rounds to build up. Now, I mean, you could look at the Rams. They traded draft capital for players. That's how they won the Super Bowl. But traditionally, Super Bowl teams are built with mid-round picks. Take a look at my Kansas City Chiefs. You had Tyreek Hill, 5th-round pick. I know they gave up to Miami for a bunch of draft picks. Travis Kelce was the 3rd-round pick. You're always going to rounds 3, 4, and 5, and that's something John Dorsey's always been very good. By the way, rounds 3, Travis Kelce, John Dorsey's first draft, and then I think it was 2 years later, Tyreek Hill in the 5th round. But it's the mid rounds, and John Dorsey excels at that. There was one time where he was, when he was the GM at Kansas City, he was with a radio host, and it was like 3rd round, and John Dorsey nailed 3 consecutive picks. He said, "This team's going to take this player. This team's going to take this player. This team." If you're a draft junkie, you know how insane that is. Even for an NFL executive, John Dorsey has that much of a pulse on the NFL. I can't say enough good things about John Dorsey. I've said this many times, and it's a fact. There's not 10 people more responsible for the Chiefs winning a Super Bowl than John Dorsey. Not 10. There's not 10. There's really not. Now, I'm glad we're on the same page, man. All right, I'm going to move on. 5 through 8. New York Giants. I'm going Charles Cross. You could go edge here. We mentioned Trayvon Walker. Trade down's definitely a possibility. I didn't put trade up because even though they have mentioned trading Cardavius Toney, I think it's highly unlikely that they're trying to move up because you pick 5 and 7. I think you're going to stay there. Trade down's definitely a possibility. Trayvon Walker. You could go, I say corner because you can go Sauce Gardner. You can go Kyle Hamilton. Originally, I had Kyle Hamilton going 7, but I think what they're going to do is pair Trayvon Walker with Azeez Ojulari, another Georgia Bulldog. Matter of fact, I think Trayvon Walker's older than Ojulari. Ojulari was a redshirt sophomore when he left last year. He went in the 2nd round, led the Giants in sacks last year. He's just growing into his frame. The other guy, one of my favorite players, also a Georgia Bulldog, they let walk in free agency. I'm drawing a complete blank on his name, so I apologize. The outside linebacker position is open. Trayvon Walker fills that. Kenny Pickett's my number 1 quarterback in the draft, and I'm not high on any of the quarterbacks here, but Kenny Pickett I think is easily the best. I'm just letting you know, if I am the Carolina Panthers, I would go left tackle. I would give Sam Darnold a chance. He's very talented. He had some injury issues. I would give him a chance. But I don't think they will. I think they're going to go with the best quarterback in the draft. It wouldn't surprise me if they trade up. Detroit would be the spot, I think. I think Detroit really wants to get out of that spot. I could see Carolina. You'd have to offer some players. But bottom line, I think Kenny Pickett, if he's available when Carolina picks, whether it's at 2, 4, 6, wherever, I think he's going to be the guy. He's my number 1 quarterback. I'm not super high on Pickett, but I do think he's a day 1 starter. I'd love to see New York move up from 7 to get 2 picks in the top 5. That would be interesting. That would be really interesting. I think just to flip, I think I could see them trading down, but I I do like Charles Cross here. However, I will say this: if I'm Charles Cross, I would be pissed because you do have a guy, Andrew Thomas. I think it's his name. He was the 4th pick in the draft. He was slated to be the right tackle, and then the starting left tackle, Nate Solder, sat out for COVID, and this was in 2020, so he moved him over on the left side, which was the plan anyway. And he's been okay, but I think in this situation, I'll put Cross on the left, Thomas on the right, but I don't see the Giants doing that. I think they'll flip him. And Charles Cross, I'd be pissed because I'd be starting on the right side. The difference between a left tackle and a right tackle is about $30 million. I mean, look, the money's on the left side. So if I'm Charles Cross, I would hate this. But bottom line, he's day one ready. Put him on the offensive line, left side, right side, doesn't matter. Your offensive line instantly improves. Number 8, I was toying around with throwing a wrench in mock drafts and just going with Matt Corral, the SEC pick. It wouldn't surprise me 10 years from now if we're laughing that Corral wasn't taken before Malik Willis. Malik Willis comes from Atlanta. A lot of people think he could go as high as 2 to Detroit. Had a good combine. Apparently interviewed really well. I was toying around with Corral. They need edge rush. They were worst in the NFL. Led the league, but they led the league with fewest sacks. How's that sound? So they need help, but they can get a really good edge rusher. This is a great draft for edge rushers and wide receivers. They could go ahead and get an edge rusher in the 2nd round who can help them out day one. There will be somebody available. It wouldn't surprise me. They do have trade capital. They could trade up. It wouldn't surprise me if they trade up to Detroit at 2. This year's number 1, next year's number 1, maybe a 3rd, something like that. They do have extra picks, I think, in the 3rd and 4th round. Let me see here. Yeah, they have 2 picks in round 2, 2 picks in round 3. But I could see them doing a variety of different things. Dustin, what's up, brother? All right. You know what? In honor of you, here's what I'm saying. Kenny Pickett, he's my number 1 quarterback. If I am Carolina, I 100% go left tackle. I think there's a strong possibility they trade up to 2. Love to know your thoughts. Jags would take the less talented sack. We're going to go back because I missed you a lot. I still got Jacksonville taking Evan Neal, Trayvon Walker, possibly Ike Ekwonu. Oh yeah, Nick Bonito may not even make it, but that's kind of the spot I'm looking at. If I'm the Atlanta Falcons, you can get somebody like Nick Bonito. What was it? Edward Ikubide, the guy out of Penn State. There's some names that you could take in the 2nd round if you're Atlanta. Bottom line, I don't see any possible way Atlanta gets rid of Matt Ryan, who I think is going to Canton. I don't think that's a debatable topic. You can if you want to, but Matt Ryan's going into Pro Football Hall of Fame. And bottom line, you get rid of him. I don't see oh, God, what's his name? Oh, crap. 24 minutes into the shot and name freeze. The Atlanta Falcons starting quarterback. I just complete brain freeze. I'm Heisman Trophy winner, Marcus Mariota. Okay, I got it right. Didn't have to look it up. So anyway, Marcus Mariota. You can't go into the season and say Marcus Mariota is your answer. Malik Willis, I think, wins the job in training camp. I really do. I think he comes in day 1 starter. I think Carolina trades down in mid-1st, gets Trevor Penning at left tackle, picks up a 2nd, and gets Desmond Ridder in round 2. That would be fantastic. That would work perfect. However, I got Trevor Penning going to Seattle at 9. I'm going to be honest with you. Seattle could trade up. They could trade down. Sauce Gardner, Kyle Hamilton, they can go with an edge rusher. They're switching from a 4-3 to a 3-4. They could go quarterback here. I'll be honest with you, Seattle, I have no clue. I just have a hard time picturing Seattle entering the season without a guy at left tackle. If nothing else, I think he'll struggle in pass protection, Trevor Penning, but I think Seattle's going to be a heavy run base team. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what Seattle's going to do in the draft. They could do 101 different things. Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% correct. Seattle's the hots for Willis. They could trade up. Seattle does really like Malik Willis. They could go Mark Curl. They could do 101 different things. I'll be honest with you. I don't think anybody has any idea what Seattle's going to do. Actually, this is a great question for you, Dustin. Dustin, how about you give the Lions 6, next year's number 1, and Chin? By the way, if you're not aware, Dustin, Funk has a major man crush on Jeremy Chin, and come up to 2 and take the best O-lineman available. Alex, you're back, brother. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go backward just for you, Alex. I got Kayvon Thibodeau still going to Houston at 3, but I'm glad you're here, man. Man, I got Alex here. I got Dustin here. It's about time for some football talk. Jeremy Chin, by the way, if you don't know, Funk has a major man crush on him. The Jets at 10, and I'm going with my big board, which is kind of unusual for the Jets, but I'm going with my big board. I'm going Sauce Gardner. He might be, if I did do a big board, he's definitely my number 1 defensive back. Just phenomenal player. This, by the way, is my run of corners. It goes right here. Sauce Gardner, I think here is where the Debo talk could really come into play. I don't see 10 for Debo, but like 10, and maybe San Francisco kicks something back, like a 10 and a third. 10, number 10, 3, I don't know. Edge rush could come into play again. Linebacker, I actually toyed around. Brain freeze. Devin Lloyd, I'm sorry. I say defensive back because Kyle Hamilton's still available. You can go with the Legion of Boom again. If you think Kyle Hamilton's the second coming of oh fuck, man, I'm having a bunch of name freezes. Number 31, Legion of Boom. Anyway, I'm dropping the ball here, but bottom line, Jets going with my big board here. Washington, Derek Stingley. I think they really love this guy. Thing about Stingley is that they don't have a pick in rounds 3 or 5, so I could see a trade down trying to get some more draft picks. I could also remember they lost. I'm having all sorts of name freezes. I apologize. To Jacksonville. The massive guard. I'm drawing a complete blank. Wide receivers a dark horse too. So I've had like 9 name freezes here. Fritter isn't giving up. Legion of Boom 2.0 right now. Woods and Chin at safety with Horn. C.J. Henderson, Dante Jackson at corner. Carolina's the best secondary in football, hands down. Well, there's some talent there. Best secondary, no. But there is a lot of talent there. Chin is, I think he went to a Pro Bowl 2 years ago. I don't think he went to one last year. C.J. Henderson, solid. Jeremy Horn, if he progresses, could be right there. Some good pieces. I wouldn't say number 1, though. Funk, I think Seattle would be a good trade partner for you. And it could be Seattle picks 40 and 41. I would absolutely love Thibodeau, but I don't know if he's going to be the guy here. Talk about Sauce or Stingley. Yeah, I have too. I'm hearing a lot of talk about Stingley. Bottom line, if you're the Houston Texans, your whole defense is built around your front 4 beating the front 5. You need a stud. Take Thibodeau. I think it's just talk. But I'm going to reveal who they take at 13 any second. I think Linderbaum is a top 10 pick. He's a Hall of Fame day 1 center. I would not be shocked at all if somebody takes him. That's a possibility, and there's some talk about him going to the Giants. There's some other people that think that he's not nearly as good as Creed Humphrey. I'm sorry, I feel like I sneeze going. Yeah, excuse me. nearly as good as Creed Humphrey coming out of Oklahoma. Creed Humphrey went late in the second round. Not Creed Humphrey was some people think the best center in football last year, basically an all-pro center. Linderbaum could be a top 10 pick. Could be a top 10 pick. He could go to the Giants. Could go a variety of places. The negative on him is he's undersized and struggled with larger pass rushers. That's a negative on him. I'm Dustin. I've been thinking they might for a minute too. I've heard word leaking up Houston to Debo, all things said, but no one knows what Houston's going to do. I love that Nick keeps his cards close to the chest. Yeah, that's one thing I really like too, and I think it's smart. San Francisco's leaking out a lot of stuff about Debo. They want to see what they can get. I think the number one trade partner is the Jets. The Jets tried to make a move for Tyreek Hill. They didn't want to offer as much as Miami did, but I think that 10 could be in play. I think the Jets picked twice in the second round early. I got that right up here too, so bear with me. Yeah, Jets picked 35 and 38, so definitely that could be in play. Dustin, I don't know about giving him the Hall of Fame yet, but yes, he's nice. Watch Pittsburgh get Ritter in round 2 and be set for the next decade. That makes me mad. If you haven't heard, he's my favorite quarterback. I love Desmond Ritter. I'm not really high on any one of these quarterbacks, but Ritter's my favorite. I love his game. I love how he tested at the combine. He's a guy who's got the NFL size. Nobody was expecting a 4.51. I think he could walk right into the right team and start day one. I really do. Athletic freaks don't come around very often like Linderbaum and Penning. They are by far the most athletic. I would disagree with you there. Ike Ekwonu, I think, is the most athletic lineman in this draft. And then if you want to talk athlete, I mean, Evan Neal at 6'7", 337 moves at like a guy much smaller. But Ike Ekwonu, the way he moves for his size is ungodly. But I mean, Linderbaum and Penning, very good athletes. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. Minnesota, Trent McDuffie, corner here. I could see them trading down. You're going from a 3-4 to a 4-3. And the one thing you don't have that no 4-3 team has is a zero technique. So I could see them adding Jordan Davis. They had Michael Carter, who was a zero tech. He is back in Baltimore. So they don't really have a zero tech. I could see them adding somebody like Jordan Davis, who would help to run in the pass rush. I could also see them going an edge rusher, even though they do got some nice bookends. Remember, they tried to move on from Danielle Hunter in the offseason. It didn't happen. But bottom line, I mean, really, this is a spot I could see Minnesota attacking. Yeah, watch his feet. Ekwonu's feet are light years better than Penning's. There's no debate about that. I like Penning. Don't get me wrong. I just have a major man crush on Ekwonu. He might be my number one player overall. From Cassio, Houston's GM, we believe we are locked at 3, but 13 is still in play for trades. He also mentioned moving up from 13 if he sees someone still on board. We're going to get to 13 here in just a second. I want to touch base on Minnesota. The reason why I like McDuffie is I think he's a day one starter, inside, outside. I absolutely love this guy. Comes in instantly. I also think Jordan Davis could be in play here. Jordan Davis could still be in play. Trade down's also a possibility because when you switch defenses, the offense I think is set. But when you switch from a 4-3 to a 3-4, you don't have a zero technique. You may want to add another edge rushers. They did add Jordan Akers, from Arizona, doing a bunch of name forgetting today. I apologize, but it's all that. It's how I'm so jacked up. So let's hey man, Alex, I got you here. So we're going to go 13 through 16 here. 13, I'm going to go Kyle Hamilton. There's a lot of you that wanted Kyle Hamilton to go number 2 to Detroit, and he free falls to 13. This is a perfect fit. Could be a next type of John Lynch, plays in the Tampa 2 defense. Kyle Hamilton's a perfect fit in this defense. He'll play kind of that stereotypical strong safety. He'll also play too deep, and I think this defense is perfect for a guy like Kyle Hamilton. You go Thibodeau at 3-13. You go Kyle Hamilton. I think 3 Houston picks. I completely think here at 13 you could trade down. You could go wide receiver. I toyed around with Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. He could come in immediately. You could go corner here. You could also go offensive line. You could go defensive line. You could go with somebody. I think Devontae Wyatt would fit really nice in this defense. You could do a lot of different things. Bottom line, without trading, day one starter places Justin Reed, who's now with my Chiefs. Houston's offense is trash. They would probably trade one of those picks from McLaren or someone else. I didn't think about McLaren. I think he's going to stay in Washington. I know that he wants a new contract and he deserves one. They just signed another brain freeze here. They re-signed their number 1 wide receiver out of Oregon State. I'm drawing a complete blank on his name. I'm having a bad day with names. I'm having a real bad day with names. Even worse than normal. I'm going to blame being so jacked up on the draft. Brandon Cooks, okay? Before I looked it up, Brandon Cooks. So they resigned Brandon Cooks. They also have last year's second-round pick, Nico Collins, a guy that I was very, very high on. So you have some players. You have some young talent there. This is a deep, deep draft in wide receiver. I think, honestly, Thibodeau and Kyle Hamilton could be 2 future All-Pros as rookies. Yeah. I didn't want him to go to Detroit. I just said I couldn't roll it out, and I understand why. The Lions have said they want to run more 3 safety sets, and they could use him as a box guy. They really could, and I don't think he's out of play. I also don't think Sauce Gardner's out of play at 2 either. But in my mock draft, I just think Hamilton at 13 is an absolute steal for Houston. Could be, and by the way, fits like a glove. I could call him an upgrade over Justin Reed, actually. Could be an upgrade. Really great fit in this defense. Him and Thibodeau, day one starters, could both be Pro Bowlers. Hamilton falling to 13, that would be a dream, but I don't know if it's super realistic to drop that far. Personally, I have the wide receiver from Cincinnati at 13. Are you talking Alec Pierce? I would be floored if he goes first round. Yeah. I mean, look. Here's the deal. He could go as high as 2, but once you look at the way my mock draft sets out, I'm not saying he's the 13th best player. He may be higher. It's just the way that the teams are built. Bottom line, Kyle Hamilton here is just a great fit. Just great fit. Baltimore at 14, I think a trade down is very, very likely. I actually think that Kansas City at 29 and 30 is a possibility. Don't be surprised. I've seen some Philly could be interested in trading up, trading down. Same thing with the Saints here. Baltimore's a team that loves to trade down. It wouldn't surprise me if they do. But man, Jordan Davis, if I was doing an old school, picking guys off the, you line up everybody at recess and I want this guy, Jordan Davis, top 10 player. That's my opinion. I think he's much better than a lot of other people. In my opinion, he's the best player on the Georgia defense. I would take him over anybody. That's my opinion. I know he doesn't rush after the passer, but in Baltimore's defense, now they did get Michael Carter, who plays the 0 technique. They did re-sign Calais Campbell. I think he could play a 5 technique. He doesn't have to play a 0 technique. You could also put Michael Carter, Jordan Davis as 700 pounds in that interior and just have some fun. Let's see here. Actually, let's talk about Wyatt at 15. Yeah. Philly's kind of a mystery here. They could trade up, they could trade down. You could go corner here. You could go wide. You can go corner. You can go wide receiver. You can go offensive line. You can do 101 different things. Fletcher Cox is on a 1-year deal. You cut him. You sign him back to a 1-year deal. Here's your replacement. Top 10 talent in my book. Not as good as Jordan Davis, but in a 4-3 defense, he's a great fit. Just a monster here. I actually think he starts opposite Cox, and he's a game changer. What do you think? Do you still think teams still think highly of him after his domestic abuse rumors? I think so, because I think they're just rumors. Philly and every team's going to do their research and have to come up with things on their own. I think that there's a lot of talk. I don't know what you follow on social media. There's a lot of channels I follow on social media are talking about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard incident. For those of you who don't know, she accused Johnny Depp of abuse. He ended up filing a defamation lawsuit. It actually cost him a job while she still kept her job with DC. She was in Aquaman. I forget the part that she played. Turns out to be there's like all these eyewitnesses that actually witnessed her abusing him, but because she's a woman, anyway, I don't know if you heard all this or not, but more and more people are like, when you hear a girl say, "Oh, he hit me" or "he raped me," now more and more people are stepping back and going, "Are you after a payday?" Because if you're not, look at Deshaun Watson, clear of all criminal charges. There are some civil suits available. I kind of went on a rant there. Short answer, every team's going to have a different opinion. I think Philly really likes Wyatt. You're moving on from Cox after this year. There's no question. You got to replace him. Here you go at 15. Perfect spot. I really hope all my teams in the division get a rookie quarterback. Yeah. Well, except for Brady. I got Hamilton going in the top 10 as part of a parlay. Man, I'm sorry about this. That pro day, I think, really hurt. I think running into 4.7s just kills him. I really do. Dustin, I completely disagree on the sentiment about Houston offense with good rookie wide receivers led by Cooks and a good offensive tight end plus Marlon Mack in the back end. This offense is going to be okay. I've been saying this too. Davis Mills is the real thing. He's the real deal. He gets a whole offseason building around the team. Everything looks fantastic with Davis Mills. And this is a deep receiver class. You can get somebody in the second round and help out. Alex Pierce will be available in the second round. I'm letting you know that right now. I agree. Ravens are a team that finds success in later picks. Lamar Jackson, most notably, one-day trade. Yeah. Baltimore's always Kansas City's a trade partner. I know Cincinnati's a trade. I don't think Cincinnati's going to trade with Baltimore. Usually division rivals don't trade among themselves. But if I had to put action on it, I would say odds are Baltimore trade down. I'm just not sure where. Hold on here. I'm going to read some more of these here. I wouldn't rest well with that as my offense. That's just me. Cooks is washed up and Marlon Mack is All right, fair enough. I love Cooks. His issue is more staying healthy than being washed up. He's still a legitimate 4.3 guy. Really great hands, runs after the catch. Well, it's just staying healthy. And it's also concussion issues. Anytime you have head trauma, we really don't know how that affects people long term. So, there are some question marks. Marlon Mack is not as good as Jonathan Taylor, but he's not bad. It's definitely an improvement. Nico Collins is the key. This is a guy, massive upside, sat out the whole season with COVID. Ran a 4.42 at the pro day, 6'4", 210. Really raw player. He needs to take a big step forward this season. You also have Davis Mills leading the offense, who looked incredibly good in the second half. He has a good arm, and I think his legs will be much more use of Pep Hamilton as offensive coordinator. May the odds forever be with you. May the odds forever be in favor with you, my friend. I can't say much. Got tons of weapons. Same time. Cook's coming off his 50th in a row of 1,000 yards. What do you mean washed? My team, dude's been bouncing around teams for years. Cooks is the most underrated, disrespected wide receiver in the league, aiming 30 yet. And he's played nobody inside 1,000-yard season, 5 in a row. He ain't washed in the slightest. Cooks has had back-to-back 1,000s in 2019, and he only had 500 something. One Pride 40, what's up, man? What's up? Here's the drill. One Pride. Desmond Coral. Desmond Ritter goes number 2 to the Lions. So just playing. Little accident here. Man, I love One Pride, man. Pride House Lions podcast. By the way, if I ever get an invite, I'm going on. Okay, Matt Corral, bottom line, the Saints make this move for one reason and one reason alone. They want 2 picks in the first round. They need a quarterback. The closest quarterback to Deshaun Watson's Matt Corral. I played around with having him go to Atlanta at 8. I really couldn't justify it. I think there's a good chance he's available at 16. It wouldn't surprise me. I've been hearing the Saints wanting to trade up. Definite possibility. Wide receivers, also a big possibility. They could also go with a defensive back. They can go corner, safety. Malcolm Jenkins just retired, so could go a variety of different situations here. Also sad when the Texans re-signed Cooks, simply the most underrated wide receiver in the game. Him and Lockett wanted him to be an Eagle so bad. Yay, Matt. I think it's coming. I really think it's coming. And he wouldn't start. He wouldn't start. Jameis Winston would still start, but the plan would be to bring Matt Corral up to speed, undersized, but didn't stop Drew Brees. So that's the way I see it. Willis, yeah, I think it's going to happen. I really think that's going to happen. My only question is, it happen at 8 or does it happen at 2, 4, 6? I mean, you could trade around a lot of different areas. I got 17 through 20 coming up here. Chargers, this is just unfair. Jermaine Johnson, I probably would put in the top 10 if I did a big board this year. Day 1 starter. Last time the Chargers took a Florida State player at 17, it was Derwin James, first team All-Pro as a rookie. Just absolute stud. Day 1 starter. They don't have a second-round pick, so trading down, I think, is a possibility. However, Jermaine Johnson's on the board. I don't see how you don't do that. I got Philly going Devin Lloyd. They got 2 linebackers on 1-year deals. Kazar White was a really good player for the Chargers last year. But you signed him to a 1-year deal. Devin Lloyd, 3-down linebacker, could be a first-team All-Pro. I absolutely love Devin Lloyd. If you're not aware, I had him going. I had him originally going 13 to Houston. I could see Philly trading up, trading down. You could go corner. You could go wide receiver. You actually could go outside linebacker, another outside linebacker. But I love this guy. I love this guy, so I think Philly does it. First wide receiver off the board for the Saints, Garrett Wilson. Really should go off the board a lot sooner. When I do my I've gone through my mock draft so many times, and I couldn't picture it anywhere. This is a guy who should not be available at 19. This is an absolute steal because you get your quarterback and you get a stud wide receiver here. I could see them trading up, and you could also go corner here. You go corner or safety. We have a shot at the division. You actually, you know what? Seriously, if you go left tackle and Darnold pans out, then yes. I think if you go with a rookie quarterback, then no, zero chance. And I still think Tampa Bay's loaded. They're my pick right now to win the NFC. Dustin, I can see your Panthers trading up for Pickett. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely in play. I'm here in Seattle going for a quarterback early, probably just smoke, but I wouldn't be super surprised if they don't land Baker, that quarterback room. Yeah, they re-signed Geno Smith for some more money. I love Drew Lock. You guys heard me say this before. We went to the same high school, just different years. I think Drew Lock deserves a chance to be an NFL starting quarterback. He's got the talent. He's just never been given an opportunity. I think Denver really messed up their quarterback situation. They going with Bridgewater. Big mistake. How do I know it was a big mistake? Everybody got fired. You should have gone with the more talented Lock. If I'm Seattle, and I have no idea what Seattle's going to do in the draft, I would go with Drew Lock and see what you got. Pickett is the only one that makes sense. We did that because the owners, alma mater. Yeah, I actually did know that. I should have pointed that out. For those of you who don't know, the Panthers quarterback is from, the Panthers owner is from Pittsburgh. I think he worked with the Steelers organization at one point in time or another. He loves Kenny Pickett. Pickett's my number one quarterback. The Pittsburgh connection also makes sense. I should touch base on that. I was aware of that. Actually, I didn't know that the owner went to Pittsburgh. I know he had ties in the Pittsburgh Steelers, or in Pittsburgh community and the Steelers organization. I don't know if he was a Steelers fan or what exactly it is off the top of my head, but I did know there was a connection. Pickett's my number one quarterback. After trying to trade for Hopkins, I don't know how you can go back to Darnold. I still think that you need a left tackle. I think we trade to Seattle and go down. Fritter has that Seattle connection. With Seattle, you never know, man. Seattle, you never know. I see Carolina getting Baker Mayfield. I would be shocked because both Baker and Darnold come from the same draft class. I thought Darnold was going to be the number one pick. I think he's more talented. But that's just my opinion. If it happens, I have no problem saying I'm wrong. I don't see it personally. I think if they do trade for a quarterback or pick one up, it would definitely be Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco. That's what I see. I think if Carolina gets a quarterback and it's not through the draft, I think it's Jimmy G, not Baker Mayfield. But I've been wrong before. Devin Lloyd would be an absolute dream, but Howie for some reason hates linebackers. I don't understand why. It's been 24 years. Yeah. I know New York Giants don't like drafting inside linebackers. It's kind of a philosophy that some teams have. I could see them doing some different things at 18. At 18, I can see it. I can see him doing some different things, but Devin Lloyd's just so good, man. I mean, both your linebackers are on 1-year deals. Kazir White is not a bad player. I watched him with the Chargers last year. He can play inside, he can play outside. I forget the other outside linebacker or the other linebacker you got, but man, Devin Lloyd plug and play could be a Pro Bowler right away. Debo, Jimmy G, Baker are linchpins. Yeah, exactly. I think Jimmy G could be on the move. You could see Carolina's a place, Pittsburgh's a place. Trying to think if there's another team. Maybe I would be shocked, but maybe Miami. I would be shocked if that happened. Remember, they got the connection. Mike McDonald, the Dolphins coach, came from San Francisco. Debo Samuel. I think the most likely landing spots the Jets. Baker is an interesting story. I would love just for fun having him going to Pittsburgh. I would love for him to be a Steeler. Cleveland is dirty. They're going to force Baker to play 6 games. Watson. I was not aware Watson's sitting out 6 games. All right. 20 with Pittsburgh. I changed my pick. Originally, I had them taking Bernard Raymond, the left tackle out of Central Michigan. That could still be the play. I think they need some help on the offensive line. I could see them trading up, but let's just say you pick at 20. There are no trades in my mock draft. Travis Jones, for those of you who don't know, he's the 330-pound defensive tackle out of UConn. Ran under a 5.0, dominated the Senior Bowl. The Steelers were the worst team in the NFL in stopping the run. And look at the division you're in. You got Cleveland, you got Baltimore, you got Cincinnati. This is a massive dude. Doesn't just have to play a 0 technique. He might be able to play a 5, maybe able to play in an even front. Bottom line, you're that bad against the run. Get the massive guy out of Connecticut. If Watson is – I'm sorry. That's a possibility. I think that instead they'd rather go with a veteran instead of Baker. I think Cleveland's perfect plan would be to move on from Baker, maybe get some draft picks. But we'll find out. Just for talking standpoint, I would love if they went to Pittsburgh. It would be fun. I don't think they're going to do that, but I think it'd be fun. Slasher, I'm a big fan of Lloyd. If Lions trade back to 8 or 9, him and Garrett Wilson are two. Absolutely. Devin Lloyd, I think, would be a perfect fit for Detroit. Perfect. I think Devin Lloyd, as a rookie, could be an all-pro in the right spot. I think Breece Hall, Houston would go Breece Hall at 37. I said this in my Lions, the second video I did about the Lions. I had Breece Hall going to Lions at 34, and I love Breece Hall at 34 to Detroit because Detroit has this big physical offensive line, but all the running backs are small. And I look at Detroit as a team that wants to be physical. Why not go with the 220-pound dude who ran under a 4.4, set an NCAA record, 24 straight games with a touchdown? That makes a lot of sense to me. Lions fans hated it. It would be a great pick if he lasts the 37, because I could see the Jets also being very interested in him. Breece Hall, I think when he signs with the team, I think he'll be a starter. I think he's top 10 running back. I think he's that good. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, dude, you're 330, you run under a 5.0, dominated the Senior Bowl. And one thing about Pittsburgh, dead last in the NFL in run defense. So what did they do? They went out, they signed Miles Jack from Jacksonville. They get Devin Bush back from injury. So they have maybe the two fastest inside linebackers in the NFL. Of course, the Tampa Bay has an argument there. With that type of athleticism, and they're both physical dudes. I mean, they're both physical guys. I'm not dogging either one of them, but getting a guy like Travis Jones makes a lot of sense. You cannot have the 32nd run defense as the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he could go top 20. I really do. I think I think it's Olave is the best receiver in the draft. Hate me, I don't care. He is the fastest and best route runner in my opinion. Dustin, can you? I'm gonna save that comment. Because I want to touch base on that. He's a baller for sure. He's faster than Amon-Ra. One pride, he's the dude to the draft. Why he doesn't get the looks is bad. Dustin, can you save those comments? I like Brian Robinson on day 3 for running back to Detroit. The Lions don't need a running back with early. You are correct, Funk. And Brian Robinson day 3, I think, would be a home run. Really, no wear and tear on the kid. The kid barely played for 4 years in college, and then he had one season where he started. I loved his effort. Not a stretch, not a guy who's a stretch to score from anywhere on the field, but you got Swift for that. I love Brian Robinson day 3, maybe later, not round 3, but day 3. Yeah. Garrett Wilson thrived because of Olave. Wilson missed half the season with Fields, and Olave was balling. People forget that. Dustin, I believe your Panthers should draft Charles Cross if you guys get the chance. Absolutely, they should. Okay, we're going to move on 21 through 24. New England, I got them going Daxton Hill. Guy plays safety, plays slot corner, ran fast at the combine, smart, physical. Sound like a New England type of defensive back. It is a New England type defensive back. They could also go O-line. I think they trade down. I would watch them to trade down with Kansas City or Cincinnati. But this is a guy. Now, I know they did sign some safeties. They signed Jabril Peppers, one other guy they got. I'm calling him a defensive back because I'm not 100% sure they don't make him into a corner. Bottom line, top 20 player, New England gets him at 21. This is a New England pick. So many people feel Drake London's the best receiver in the draft. I mean, if you go back, you look at Devontae Adams' scouting reports, kind of similar to Drake London. I would address offensive line, but bottom line, Arizona at 23 could definitely go with Drake London. They love tall wide receivers, so go ahead and take him at 22. Arizona at 23 could do a lot of different things. They could go and do a lot of different things. I think trade down's definitely a possibility. They could go defensive back. They could go wide receiver. Bottom line, though, Boy Mafe is a guy I have just been falling in love with. I absolutely love this guy. And I think he comes in, replaces Chandler Jones, day one starter, and could be a monster. Dustin says, I think Neil, Cross, and Quano are to pick if any of those three are there. If not, we try to trade down and fleece. Then it's Pickett. We won't go Penning at 6. Fair enough. I think you could. I think you could. I'm not saying you will. I think you could. He sure did. He made a Madden-like catch. Oh, yeah, Olave. Hearing good things on running back Hassan Haskins and wide receiver Justin Ross. Justin Ross has all the talent in the world. Haskins, I know a lot of people like, but man, that offensive line that Michigan had was really good. It's one thing I don't like. Dustin, I like Olave. I think Wilson fits in Detroit a little more. Chark, Hawks, Swift, and St. Brown all stay healthy. I know 2 of these guys will make it. Olave can't block, which really bothers me when you use a running back a lot in the passing game. Great route runner and catcher, though. I think Olave is the one guy you can play anywhere. He's a lot like OBJ. One funky Lions fan, Lloyd, would look great. Yeah, I do too. I would too. If Detroit gets that 8, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, let's just say it trade down to 8. It wouldn't surprise me. Number 8, Lloyd, and I would love it. My original Dallas Cowboys video, I had them going Tyler Lindenbaum. I think he would be an improvement on the offensive line. For those of you that don't know, their starting center, I nicknamed him Tyler Badass, Remington Award winner at Wisconsin, where Wisconsin throws the ball maybe 5 times a game. Massive dude, I think 330. I mean, he's built like a freight train. That was under Jason Garrett offense. And bottom line, the Mike McCarthy offense likes athletic centers, guys that can get to second level, go after linebackers, screen passing, zone blocking, draws, things like that. Tyler Badass, excuse me, doesn't really fit that. Tyler Linderbaum does. I went with Treylon Burks instead. There is the Arkansas connection that Dallas has, but I'm going to use this analogy again. If you're just picking guys off the fence, do you remember playing kickball? Maybe I'm too old here, but remember playing kickball? You used to pick guy. I'm picking this guy. I'm picking this guy. I remember doing that. If you're doing that, you're taking Burks over Lindenbaum. Justin, I know what you're saying. And if they have Tyler Linderbaum close to Burks, then it's Linderbaum, who I think would be a day one starter and a massive improvement. However, Dallas had the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. It's just hard for me to have Dallas pass up Burks. I can't do it. Yeah, okay, here we go. Revisiting how did Fields lose with Olave and Wilson so badly. Yeah. Because he had a worse rookie QBR than Jimmy. Do you remember there was a time people thought Jimmy Clausen would go number 1 overall? Oh, wow. Yes. Yeah, it's actually, okay, somebody put in the comments, I had a little back and forth with a Denver Broncos fan, not you, but a Denver Broncos fan who didn't like James Cook as my pick to Denver at 64. And by the way, I think James Cook might go before 64. But the way I had my mock draft going, James Cook to Denver at 64 as a Chiefs fan would really suck. Well, I have to throw that in the trash because Melvin Gordon re-signed. And I did not see that coming. I loved Melvin Gordon. I loved him coming out of Wisconsin. I love watching Wisconsin running backs. They're always studs. The one that they got right now is another stud. He might be a Heisman winner. Absolute monster. I don't know his name. 17 years old, 245, monster. Lloyd is a beast. His man coverage could be a little better, and his missed tackle rate could be better. But man seems to be always going in the right direction. What I love about him, 3-down linebacker, instant day one starter. Game changer for whoever gets him. Seriously, I had him going 13 originally to Houston, but I got Kyle Hamilton falling, so that's my deal. My guy is Arnold Arnold Smith. I can't do the name, but yeah. There's a lot of draft talk about this guy. real popular name, just massive upside. I get the comparison, but not. Von Miller is a significantly better athlete, but really, really, really good player. Pride Igubide and Minari. Thanks, Funk, for doing all the names I can't pronounce. Benito Mafe, the reason I don't want an outside linebacker at 2. I get that. I get that. I think Hutchinson could play a little bit of 5 technique, just like Joey Bosa did with the Chargers. I get it. I really, really do. I really, really do. But I'm still sticking with Hutchinson. But I understand your logic completely. Funk, say all those names 3 times fast. Lloyd is extremely smart, and he's always communicating with his teammates in coverage. Yeah, I love Devin Lloyd. Love Devin Lloyd. That's why I think he's a steal at Philly, and that's why I kind of see Philly breaking the trends here. I have the Jags taking Walker. Lots of people do, especially after the Cam Robinson 3-year deal came out. I'm going to stick to my guns and go with Evan Neal. He's mine too, Slasher. We 100% agree here. Dustin, I'm actually decent at saying people's names. Yeah, I may get halfway through the second time and fall. Dean is good, but his size really limits him in coverage at the next level. Yeah, they are. All right, we're going to go 25 through 28. Buffalo, Jamison Williams. A lot of people think I'm nuts that he lasts this long in the draft. A lot of people think I'm nuts that this lasts this long. Remember, they lost their starting corner. He's now in Pittsburgh. Look, bottom line, they've made some bold moves this offseason. Most people have the Bills as the number 1 team in the AFC. I could see them trading up and getting really aggressive and just going all in this year. Probably the most talented team in the AFC, if I'm being perfectly honest. Part of the reason I think they take Jamison Williams is because they don't want Kansas City to get him. So Tyreek Hill, by the way, anal raped Buffalo in both playoff games the last 2 years. I really love Desmond Ridder going to Tennessee. I love Desmond Ridder in Tennessee. I would not be surprised halfway through the season if they made a change and Desmond Ridder leads the team into the playoffs. But I'm going to pass. Kenyon Green's just a monster. Kenyon Green, absolute monster. Remember, Roger Safford signed with Buffalo. I talked about Buffalo having some major. You had Von Miller, Roger Safford, some big offseason moves. Roger Safford replaced with Kenyon Green. He can play tackle. He can play center. He can play guard. Maybe kind of sort of play tackle. I think he's interior offensive lineman, day 1 starter. Look, you're a run-heavy team with a massive running back. Take the massive road grader out, Texas A&M, no-brainer. I would love to see Desmond Ridder go to Tennessee. I think Tampa Bay's the team that could trade down. They only have 6 picks in this draft. No pick in round 5 or 6. So I could see them trading down, just getting out of first round completely. However, Andrew Booth should not be available. So we talked about corners for Jimmy. If I remember right, where'd all my corners go? You have 1, 2, and 3. Here's 4. And then the question is, do you call Daxton Hill corner? That's another question. But I got you 4 so far, Jimmy. I think that Green Bay, I toyed around with putting Kenyon Green at 22, but Drake London won't be available. Zion Johnson's very, very good. Now, if you want to move Eldon Jenkins back inside, which I think they should do, I don't think they are. They're going to keep him at right tackle. If you move him inside the guard, Bernard Rainman, the left tackle out of Central Michigan's day 1 starter at tackle, could move over to the left side sooner or later. Same situation after picking at 22. Green Bay could get creative, trade down. I say offensive line, Bernard Rainman, they could go at the tackle. They can go in a couple different directions. You may want to double dip at wide receiver also. You guys talked about Chris Olave. That would be a great fit. Double team with just double team. Take Drake London and Olave. That would make a lot of sense to me. Dean's been my draft crush all year. Yeah, he's a good player. Still, You haven't found a home yet. Where the hell's he going? You may be mad about where I got him going, Funk. They really are. Yeah. The hardest to say is Alfred Papupu. Panunu. Yeah, the old Chargers. I couldn't do that. Yeah, Alfred Panunu. Hutchinson, his hips are a little stiff. Nobody's arguing that. I got Kansas City coming up with the next 2 picks. Then I also have Cincinnati at 31. And you guys, for you Lions fans, I'd love to know what you think about the 32nd pick in the draft. Love to know what you think with the 32nd pick in the draft, Funk. Yeah, but Olave gets a better quarterback. He goes to Kansas City at pick number 29. All right, here's the drill. I think they might trade up for Jamison Williams. They could trade up for Olave. Bottom line, Andy Reid with Chris Olave equals trouble. The things that Olave has problems with will be overlooked by Andy Reid because Andy Reid will design around that. Maybe the most creative play caller in the NFL gets Chris Olave, just another weapon in Kansas City. Shouldn't be there. A lot of people feel that Chiefs want to draft a corner. I don't think so. The reason why I don't think they're going to draft a corner since Steve Spags has taken over as defensive coordinator here in Kansas City. They haven't invested in the corner position. That's one of the things about Kansas City that a lot of Chiefs fans don't understand is that you have to cut corners somewhere. It's more important to have defensive line than corner. The one position Kansas City has bargain basement shopped is corner. So that's why I don't see it. They could go safety. And they could go D-line, but I got the Chiefs going Logan Hall. If you haven't listened to my Chiefs video, Logan Hall is the one player in the draft that can play defensive end on first down, defensive tackle on third down. I love this kid. I think he can play multiple positions. 6'6" frame adds length to the defensive tackle position. Chris Jones is 6'5", 6'6". The other defensive tackles are short. Bottom line, they were brought in to play a 3-4 defense that Bob Sutton runs. Logan Hall, I think, would be a perfect fit for Spags defense. He'll play inside, outside year one, inside primarily in 2023. I was thinking David Ojabo here, but bottom line, Kansas City picks at 50. It wouldn't surprise me Kansas City trades up in the second round, gets this guy. They could go with another edge rusher, and they obviously could go corner. But I really like Olave here. Everything you guys say about Olave makes a lot of sense. All right, let's see here. He's good, Funk. I think he's liability in coverage. Also, we have to go against long arm linemen in the run game. Okay. I'd be okay with it. No Dustin. He can play sideline to sideline and catch you, though, which I love about a quarterback. Dan, you did this on purpose. Yeah, originally I was thinking Treylon Burks. This wide receiver class, if you can get at 21, I do think Kansas City trades up. I would watch out for 21. New England is a possible trade partner. Kansas City picks twice in the first 4 rounds. They're not going to draft 8 players. I think you'll see about 5-6 draft picks. I love Olave here. Linebacker. Yeah. Keeps seeing too many mocks given Houston Neal. I don't hate him. I don't want him. We have our right tackle and Howard and Tunsil's locked in left tackle. I 100% agree with you, Alex. I don't understand why people are saying left tackle to Houston. It doesn't make a bit of sense to me at all. I think edge rusher has to be number one priority. So that I seriously, anytime I see a mock draft with that, I kind of go, cuckoo. Okay. How many wide receivers in the first round? You need over 5.5. You may be disappointed. Let's count here. Let's see. We get 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. I got 5. I'm sorry, man. I got 5. I got 5, man. I apologize. Yeah, he's a scrapper. He has to beat guys to the spot between the hash marks to clean up after everyone's blocked up. I still like Sky more to Kansas City. Yeah, I think he's a second-round pick myself, but I really like him. Nakobe Dean, interesting. I would pick the safety. Okay, originally I was thinking safety, but Nakobe Dean just keeps free falling in my mock draft. And I talked about how Hutchinson's got to be a Dan Campbell guy. Nakobe Dean's got to be a Dan Campbell guy. If Nakobe Dean is anywhere near this position, I could see a trade up for him. I could also see a trade down. 31 Cincinnati. This gives you over, by the way, Jimmy, for the corner position. Kyler Gordon, cornerback at Washington. I think Cincinnati's a prime candidate to trade up. I thought about defensive line. I think you got to trade up to get a defensive lineman. I think they're kind of like Travis Jones. For those of you that don't know, Mike Brown, who's the general manager and owner of Cincinnati Bengals, does not like small school players. Now, keep in mind, they drafted their linebacker, I'm drawing a complete blank again, out of Wyoming in the third round. But in the first round, Mike Brown is not taking a small school player, likes big school players. I'm curious what he feels about the University of Connecticut, because it's not a Power 5 school, but it's a Division I school or an FCS or FBS. Bottom line, Washington is a big school. And by the way, Kyler Gordon could start day one. Yeah, I'm right at 5, man. I'm sorry, brother. Christian Watson's a guy who could go in the first round. Sky Moore, somebody can go in the first round. Jahad Dotson could go in the first round. I got 5. I think because now keep in mind, if you go over 10 mock drafts, not one of them is going to have the first receiver off the board at 16 like I do. I'm sorry, not 16, but at 19. So that's something you got to think about. I don't want anyone in the top 5 taking a tackle when or EV. Seriously, if I'm Carolina and I have the ability to trade up and take Neal or Aquanu or Cross, I would. I think that they're kind of hoping one of those 3 fall. And honestly, Aquanu at the Jets doesn't make a lot of sense because they used a first-round pick 2 years ago, Mekhi Becton. If you don't know his situation, he got injured, his weight ballooned up. It doesn't fit the Robert Saleh offense. He was drafted when they had the old regime. Or not regime, but the old coach. Robert Saleh brought in kind of the zone blocking scheme, offensive ones, faster, quicker linemen. And George Fant fits that offense perfectly. He actually had a really good year at left tackle, where Mekhi Becton, I think, would be on the trading block if he was healthy. So, but yeah. Oh, yeah. If you didn't hear about this, hey, Alex, what do you think of Tunsil selling this gas mask? I thought this was fantastic. Made a big mistake. For those of you who don't know the story, right before he was slated to go number 1 overall. And right before the draft, there was a video of him coming out in a gas mask connected to a bong. And he did not handle it the right way. First, he said it wasn't a bong. It very clearly was a bong. Then he said it was in high school, but he had a grown beard, and it was in his dorm at Ole Miss. I mean, you could tell it's a college dorm. So it was a dumb move, and then he lied about it, but I get why. Did pass drug protocols and all that stuff, but it was a red flag. Cost him a lot of money, but then, he goes to Houston, makes it all back. I like it because he comes out and he says, look, I made a mistake. Turns out to be that the person released the video was his stepfather. Apparently there was an altercation between his stepfather and his mother. Apparently it was physical. I mean, he's an NFL tackle, so he's a big dude. He got involved, and stepdad said, I'll release the video. He's like, go ahead, do whatever. I don't know the details, but I love this. I love it. You make a mistake, that's fine. I mean, look, how many of us here were 21 and didn't make a mistake? 21 smoking pot. Oh no, the world's over. Big deal. Love it. Love it. You know what? I absolutely love this. Nakobe Dean at 32. I had a hard time believing he would be there, but it's just the way my mock draft worked out. It wouldn't surprise me if Dean's available, if they trade up with Tampa Bay, not because Green Bay or Kansas City wants to take a linebacker, because I could see some trades going on, and I could see Detroit, hey, second and a fourth and kick back a third, something like that. I'm just spitballing here, but bottom line, Nakobe Dean and Aiden Hutchinson instantly improves the front seven. Instantly improves that front seven. I love both those guys. Well, Dustin, no, Detroit definitely will not take a tackle. Personally, I do not care for NFTs at the end of the day. I'm not an NFT fan, but I love the fact that he made a mistake, said, hey, Cine and Brisk are both on the board. So yes, absolutely. Yeah. I was actually thinking that Cine could be the pick at 34. You improve all three levels of the defense. I really like that a lot. And by the way, if you trade down from 2, I think trading up from 32 is a lot easier. But bottom line, yeah, Cine teaming up with Dean, I would love it. Improve all three levels of defense. All three of these guys, day one starters. Lions could go Petre or Cine at 34 if they go with your board. LOL. Pickens. Yeah, Pickens has been Pickens is getting a lot of traction. There's a lot of talk mid-second round, late first round. Pickens could be in Kansas City. There's a lot of talk all over the board with Pickens. If he was healthy, I think he's a first round pick. Healthy all year. It's hard to say because remember, I got Jamison Williams going in first round, but I don't have Pickens. So, by the way, if you go Evan Neal, Pickens could be available at 33 or 34. Pickens could go very early second round. Exactly, Alex. I agree, but funny. I love. Okay, here's why I love it. You make a mistake, own up to it. Own up. You're wrong. Say you're wrong. I have a lot of respect for people that just flat out say, "Hey, man, I was wrong. I did something stupid." Love and by the way, he's donating the money to charity. I don't know if he's donating all of it. He may say, "I'm donating my charity," maybe like 5%, but yeah. Yeah, I like Petre. Not a bad player. Petre or Cine, it's kind of Cine, whichever one you like. But yeah, yep. I will less sports players did this stuff. But as long as I ain't a part of it, I'm good. Okay. I wish players wouldn't. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Dan, what's a late round prospect you think shows a lot of promise at the NFL level? A late round prospect. Oh boy. Oh boy, you got me there. Let me hop on my big board here for a late round prospect. Man, I don't know any late round prospects that I would say would be a guy. I'll give you one player. I don't think he's going to be great, but the Memphis wide receiver Calvin Austin ran a 4.33. I think he goes to the right team. Like he could be a lot of fun for a player. Kobe Bryant's probably going third, fourth round. I think he could be a starter day one. Staying with Cincinnati, the running back that they got, I'm drawing a blank on his name. I originally was thinking he could go to the Raiders in the third round. I think he could be a day one starter. I'm drawing a complete blank on his. Oh, Jerome Wilson, I think is his name, or is it Jerome Cook? Anyway, but Kobe Bryant, Jerome Cook, University of Cincinnati players, both these guys could come in third, fourth round, be day one starters. There's some small school prospects. What's the guy's name out of Fayetteville State? Something Williams. I'm drawing a blank on his name. There's talk about him going as high as the second round. On my video about the Rams, I haven't taken Zion McCollum. He's listed he ran a 4.33 at the combine, 6'2", 200 pounds. I think he could be a safety in the NFL, even though he's built like a corner. I see a guy who's a safety. He could go third, fourth, maybe fifth round. 4.33 at the combine at 6'2", 200, 199. You know, same thing. Both those guys could be prospects. The University of Texas San Antonio corner, 6'4", I think ran like a 4.3 something. Another guy, really, really high athleticism. I'll give you a real dark horse, Isaiah Likely, Coastal Carolina tight end, was a wide receiver, just grew. You know, he's 6'4", 240 something. Not really a blocker, but you got to find a team that can be very creative with him. Isaiah Likely is a guy, he goes to the right team, a creative offensive mind like Andy Reid in Kansas City or in LA. Can't believe I forgot Sean McVay. That's a guy that he goes to right team. Not asked to be a tight end because he's tight end size. He's 6'4", 245, but not asked to play tight end and just like, hey, look, you know, we'll get you the ball in the open field because he's basically just a big receiver. So if you do decide you want to play him as a tight end, make him a blocker, it'd be a waste of a pick. However, like Kansas City calls Travis Kelce a tight end, and the Raiders called Darren Waller a tight end. Waller's on the trading block too. We didn't even talk about that, but those are some guys just off the top of my head, and those aren't late round prospects. These are guys that are probably going third round, probably fourth round. So I didn't really answer your question. Man, I wish I would have a little more time to go in the research. I didn't touch base on this at all, but Daniel Falale, the massive Minnesota tackle, I think he goes second round. He goes to the right team. He could be an absolute star. 6'8", 380 something, but he's got really good, really, really, really good movement for a guy that size. Pride, I could honestly see the Lions taking a defensive end like Leo or Travis Jones. Remember, Lions don't use defensive tackles at 34 and waiting for 66 like Kirby Jofus. Yeah, a guy like Leo. I got Kansas City taking Logan Hall, but Logan Hall's a guy that if he's available when the Lions pick at 34, I think be a perfect fit for the Lions. Specifically, 5th, 6th round range. Oh, man, God, I wish I had a little more time to kind of look up some stuff. Isaiah Likely probably won't go that range. I'm drawing a blank, but I remember at the combine he ran a fantastic time. The Maryland tight end, he's undersized. He'd be a fullback, H-back type of player. He's a guy that I think could really, really be good. A player that I think had a fantastic combine. Jelani Woods, a Virginia tight end, blew up the combine, probably was originally a 5th or 6th round pick. He'll probably go way before then. There's a running back out of Missouri who's generating some buzz, probably won't last that long. God, this 5th, 6th round player, you got me kind of stumped here. 5th, 6th round player that could be a really good one. Man. God, I'll be honest with you, man. You kind of got me. You kind of stumped me. Nobody I can think of off the top of my head. 5th, 6th round. It'll be funny because I'll end the show and they'll be like, "Oh yeah," and I should have done that. I should have done some late round picks because there's several players that didn't go in round 1. Players I really, really like, and I was going to go over that, but yeah, I might hit you up on Twitter and go over that. When by the way, Monday I'm releasing my draft grades Monday. I'm going to talk about some later round picks, but right off the top of my head right now, I don't have an answer for you. When I do my mock draft grades, I'm going to release that. I'm going to try to release that Monday. Basically, Saturday, as soon as the draft ends, I have a system for how I do the draft grades. So I'll have the grades set by Saturday. It's going to be a long video, so hopefully I'll have time to do it Sunday, and I should, and then I'll release it Sunday. I'll release it Monday, and then I'll talk about some late round prospects I like for several teams. Maybe isn't Jones just a plugger? Mostly he is a plugger. Mostly, and this is a big area for concern for the Steelers. But look at the talent. All right, you got T.J. Watt led the NFL in sacks. There's some idiot Steelers fans that said this is MVP, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You're dead last against the run. Can get after the passer. Not his forte. He at 330, he did run under a 5, and he dominated the Senior Bowl. He looked at the Senior Bowl, looked like top 10 player. I think he's more of a run stuffer. You are correct. He's not going to be a double-digit sack guy, not even close. Absolutely. The other wide receiver, Mechie, probably go in the third round, who's hurt. He'd probably be a top 10 pick if he's not hurt. Pride, he's a big dude, but he can play that Brockers role. Cine, more of a ball hawk. Funk, why not Devontae Wyatt? Devontae Wyatt to play the Brockers role. I don't see that at all, man. I think he's your stereotypical 4-3 defensive tackle. I like Cine. I think he complements Walker really well. I don't either. Wyatt, I think this guy goes first round. So Funk, what's your nightmare scenario for the Lions? Alex Kidd from Michigan State. Connor, something he's fullback tight end would be nice. Ooh, I forgot about him. God damn it. Brian Robinson is a running back that could be nice. Smoke Monday if you want an unguided missile at safety. Oh, those are some good ones. Pride going OT at 2. Anything else, I'm cool. I think when it comes to safety, Houston wants a guy as a top dog in the draft already. So I doubt they go for the developmental guy there. I don't like safety at 13, but just if Hamilton's there, he's a plug and play guy. Keep in mind, you could easily get a day one starter in the second or third round at safety. It's just if Hamilton's available at 13, I think you got to pull the trigger if you're Houston Texans. Even taking a quarterback. Pride, maybe even Perrin Winfrey. He's a guy I haven't mentioned yet. We need more of a pass rusher on the Lions. Dan's Travis Jones to play the Broker's role. Well, in Pittsburgh, I think he would be used mostly as a 0 technique, could be used as a 5 technique. Basically, when you play a lot of nickel, which the Steelers do, you get Cam Hayward with Travis Jones, and that just presents a lot of problems because can you block Travis Jones one-on-one when you got a guy like Hayward and you got a guy like T.J. Watt? So that's kind of what I see. For interior pressure, I mean, here's the deal. In Pittsburgh, it makes sense because you got some studs already. That's kind of my thought process. Trying to think here. The Olave pick, I agree completely with Dustin that he's the best player, best receiver on board. I love this guy. It's just kind of the way the mock draft goes. It wouldn't surprise me if Kansas City trades up to 21. A few players I don't have going in the first round. George Karlaftis, I'm butchering the name, I apologize, out of Purdue. Could be a 4-3 defensive end, could be an outside linebacker. I toyed around with putting him at Tampa Bay. I also toyed around with picking him in Kansas City. Bottom line, it wouldn't surprise me if the mock draft goes the way I got it. Nevin Neal goes number 1. Karlaftis would go 33. To Jacksonville. He'd probably be now keep in mind if they go an edge rusher, if they go Trayvon Walker at 1, you obviously don't go Karlaftis at 33. But the way my mock draft goes, you go with Evan Neal, Karlaftis would probably pick number 33. And then if Detroit doesn't use an edge rush pick at either 2 or 32, which is highly unlikely, but let's say they don't, then at 34, I can see Karlaftis going. Bottom line, Karlaftis is a guy I really, really like. couldn't find a home for him. Tyler Lindenbaum, an offensive lineman, I also really, really like. Didn't find a spot for him in round 1. Breece Hall, when he takes the field, I think he's a top 10 NFL running back. I would love to see him go to a team with a really good offensive line like Detroit. I think he could be an absolute star. Christian Watson's a guy, great physical tools. Sky Moore, I think, is a slot guy. Jahan Dotson, another slot guy. Kihir Elam, the corner out of Florida, a lot of people really, really like. I couldn't find a home for him in round 1, but he's a guy that gets a lot of hype. One Pride, Arnold Igubite, I'm butchering the name, rising up draft boards. It was really hard to keep him out. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up in Kansas City. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Really good player. Sure, probably be okay for quarterback. I just think they take 1 at 2. It starts the hot seat clock on them. Well, I don't see a quarterback this year. I don't either. I joined Luke G's show, and I tried to comment to the guy who wanted to argue with me about taking a quarterback this year. It's just you have to put the comments have to be 200 characters, and I didn't want to have like 3 messages. And the guy just, I didn't want to argue with the guy. Luke G was nice enough to post my comment and gave me a shout out on his show. So, yeah. No, I would be shocked if Detroit went quarterback this year. It wouldn't surprise me if they try to stockpile draft picks for 2023. Don't be surprised if you see a trade down in Detroit that includes an extra draft pick in 2023. I think Detroit will take a quarterback. I think 2023, I think, is going to be a really good quarterback draft class. This year's really not, to be perfectly honest. I don't see a quarterback either, but I can't rule it out. No, fair enough. Campbell says he wants a day 1 starter. That's what I think you get, man. I think Nakobe Dean would end up getting a starting job, and I think Hutchinson's very safe to say. And both these guys, well, Nakobe Dean's an inside linebacker, but Hutchinson could play inside, outside. I think there's a lot of flexibility with Hutchinson. I'm not big on Christian. Oops, I tried. I'm not really sold on him being a first-round pick. I don't have him in my first round. I think this is a guy just needs some work. Now, the argument would be that they run a semi-pro type of offense, but when you come from a small school, and that you didn't throw the ball a lot, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if he had like 100 catches in a season. So I think he's a second-round guy. Could be a star. Look for the Broncos to get Hall, Jackson, Muma, Lucas, or an edge from San Diego State in round 2. Yeah, I originally had James Cook going to the Broncos in the second round. By the way, I love that because I love the 1-2 pick. Then all of a sudden they surprised me, re-sign Melvin Gordon. Smart move. I could see them going tackle. Any one of these guys really makes a lot of sense. I originally was thinking Daniel Faleo. I'm butchering the name. The massive right tackle. I just don't think he's going to fit in that fan base, or I don't think he's going to fit in that scheme. But the massive guy goes to the right place, could be a superstar. Muma has a big fan base in Detroit. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but there's an inside linebacker from, I think it's Idaho State. I want to say it's Mike Anderson. I could be way off on that, but the guy played quarterback and linebacker, 6'3", 6'4", 240 something, ran a 4.42. Big talk about him going in the second round. By the way, if you draft Nakobe Dean, you're not drafting Muma. Just letting you know that right now. I know you're a fan. The way my mock draft going is that there's no possible way you take 2 inside linebackers. The way my mock draft goes, 34, you could go receiver. You could go Christian Watson. You can go Jahan Dotson. You can go Sky Moore. You could also go Breece Hall's in play. You could go Cine, which I kind of think you would. I think Cine might be the pick if you Troy Anderson, that's the guy's name. Yeah. I think Cine would be the pick the way my mock draft goes because you nail all three areas on the board. Troy Anderson was the guy I was thinking of. He could go in the second round. And then Ryan Osama in the third. That's definitely a pick that's in play. Listen, guys, give me a thumbs up, man. This is a great video. It's a great mock draft. Put a comment below with which picks you don't like. And, don't be afraid to argue with me. Don't be afraid to say, hey, Dan, I hate this pick. I like this guy better. Also, don't be afraid to give me some praise. I love the praise. I got a big ego. You know that. Guys, look, it's a 22 and a half hours till the draft kicks off. I'm excited. You're excited. It's going to be a great time. Look, I really, really, really want you to watch my video. I'm going to come out Monday with all my draft grades. Let me know what you think about your favorite team draft. Drop a comment below and really mean the world to me. I toyed around with Quay Walker going to the Lions at 32. If Nakobe Dean's not available, then Quay Walker's 100% in play. Per NFL rumors on Twitter's 49ers unwilling to trade Debo after taking him. Twitter's a shit show. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because certain people follow me on certain social media platforms. All of them should be below. Alex follows me on Twitter. I follow Alex on Twitter. Alex is very, very entertaining on Twitter, but follow me on Facebook. I'm old, so I use Facebook a lot. I need to use Instagram more. Some of my followers follow me on Instagram. Twitter's a really good. I try to follow only people that are associated with the NFL. If you're a fanboy, I pretty much kick you out. Alex, of course, is a big exception, but I've had to unfollow a lot of stupid people on Twitter. So not going to talk about the Elon Musk thing here. It's not really the place, but it's kind of cool though. I am a fan of his. It's just Kansas City set at the linebacker position. If he was available like in the fourth round, I'd say why not? But I think he's going to go in the second round. One Pride 40, Dandy, it's your oil change before the show. Just so you know, oil change and energy drinks is not code for cocaine. We all know this. I'm actually super jacked up. I almost finished with my cup of coffee. I barely drink any water. I got a whole cup of water here. I did not do any drugs before the show, but I am very jacked up. I am super, super, super excited about the draft. Just being 22 hours and 15 minutes away. I'm very excited. Look, I'm gonna end the show. Anybody got some quick comments, questions? I'll be more than happy to answer. Guys, don't forget, give me a thumbs up, man. Please give me a thumbs up. Drop a comment below. It really helps out the algorithm. Remember, I'm not going to be on Friday. I'm not going to be on next Friday. Got to wait till the 13th, but May 2nd, I'll have my draft grades out. I really want to hear from you guys, and I'll be back on the 13th. Now, I like Quay Walker a lot. Nakobe Dean. I like Dean a little more, even though I love the size speed aspect of Quay Walker. It's obvious Dan just drank a bit too much coffee. He put a little too much quote unquote sugar. I'm not on drugs. But Alex, man, thanks for the love, man. And by the way, I really look forward to hearing as soon as the draft comments come out, man, hit me up on Twitter. I'm really excited about it. And one of the star comments we have here, don't want to forget, I completely agree with Dustin here. Chris Olave is the best receiver in the draft. Hate me, I don't care. He's the fastest and best route runner, in my opinion. That's why I got him in Kansas City. So, sugar and all right, we're going to end on that note. Hey, everybody, man, don't forget, thumbs up. Man, it helped me a lot to drop a comment below. Don't forget, my draft grades are going to come out Monday. I'll see everybody then, man. Hey, have a great tomorrow, man.